And Katie, we know where those blooms are, but we wanted to get a look at what the future does hold for our shorelines.
Fox 4 meteorologist Andrew Shipley also spent the day trying to find that out. He joins us live. And Andrew, to look ahead to the future, you do need to look at the past when red tide hit us hard here after Irma 5 years ago.
Yeah, there really isn't any deniable explanation to not compare 2018 to what we're seeing right now after Hurricane Ian. And for those not familiar, after Irma in 2017, that following winter and spring, we did see a very much similar bloom that lasted into the summer months. Now, I did speak to Captain Daniel Andrews with Captains for Clean Water. He says what happens is summer is really going to be all dependent on what happens with Lake Okeechobee.
2018 got so bad because we were getting massive discharges from Lake Okeechobee that were dumping tons of nutrient-rich water into our local waterways.
And while we aren't getting massive Lake O releases right now, the Army Corps of Engineers is slowly releasing water into the Caloosahatchee, as they typically do during dry season. Andrew says despite the current bloom, it is important to lower lake levels ahead of wet season.
Lake O releases that hurt us most are those very high volume discharges we get in the summertime when we're already getting too much water from our own watershed.
And while it's hard to predict what this summer might have in store, Lake Okeechobee is still elevated from Hurricanes Ian and Nicole. Andrew says this adds to the risk of large discharges from the lake.
It takes a problem and just exacerbates it, can extend the duration of it. So we're at this point hoping for dry weather and a late start to rainy season that will help lower Lake Okeechobee.
Captain Andrews, along with Captains for Clean Water, is lobbying the state to push Lake O water south through the Everglades, as it once did. He says this will greatly reduce the amount of nutrients feeding algal blooms in Southwest Florida.
Nature had it right. We messed it up, and unfortunately, it took us way too long to realize how much we had messed it up, and all these symptoms that were making worse, like the red tide, the cyanobacteria, the seagrass, the oyster die-offs that are happening as a result of these releases.
You know, and Andrews tells me that the Army Corps of Engineers is slowly making progress on trying to push more water south through the Everglades, but this is just a slow process. In the meantime, we're going to have to be dealing with this red tide bloom. There really isn't much that we can do. It's just kind of a wait and see. On Matt Lachey, meteorologist Andrew Shipley, Fox 4.